Metal stamping jewelry is one of the most popular do-it-yourself techniques these days. People stamp lockets, they stamp rings, bracelets, just about anything that you can think of, people are metal stamping on it. But humans aren't the only ones who might enjoy some metal stamped jewelry. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make an ID tag for your pet. Use many of the same techniques that you use for making projects for humans. But in this case, we're going to use a little silver blank that is in the shape of a dog bone. I always like to start by outlining my blank and double checking that my word fits and just kind of laying it out. I actually push the stamps that I like to use in paper. As you can see here, I'm stamping the word Gus in my final blank here because that is my furry guy's name. So I just take my stamps, first I trace the outline of the dog bone, then I press the stamps in to get my setup right, make sure I like where everything is placed. And then when I'm done with the paper, I move on to a copper sheet. I get my letters lined up. Just more than anything, I want to make sure that I'm just hitting with the right strike is what I'm looking for here. So I want to set my blank or my sheet metal down, on my steel bench block. I have my bronze hammer and my metal letter stamp. I'm going to hold my stamp at a 90-degree angle so it's perfectly perpendicular to the metal sheet. It's not tilted or anything, it's fully straight up and down. Then I'm going to strike hopefully just once with the hammer, that's the goal, and see what we look like. Okay, let's see. Pretty nice and clear. So I'm going to move on to my actual dog bone here. I'm going to tape this guy in place, and I'm going to tape just above where I want to stamp. That helps me kind of keep things straight. Next, I'm going to find the center point, which looks like it's right here. So I know where my center point is. And then just as a reminder, I'm going to write my letters up here. Not that I don't know what his name is, but because you can never really be too careful. It's kind of that measure twice, cut once idea. As I usually recommend, we're going to start stamping in the middle so we have decent placement. So I got my U is my first one here. I'm going to line him up under my halfway point here. So I'm right to left where I want to be, and then up and down. I'm going to just kind of slide till I feel the tape, and then go just a little bit down from that so that I know where I'm going without cutting into the tape. Okay, so again, 90-degree angle, one nice solid blow. And there we have it. You can really, from this point, do either the G or the S since it's a short word. All right, and then we have our S. So now, peel off our tape and we can see a pretty good impression of GUS here, but it's not super visible. So here is sort of a cheater way to oxidize things. Really, we're putting a little bit of black into this stamped impression so that it stands out better. The very simple thing with a permanent black marker. Don't let it dry too terribly long here. Just go ahead and rub it with your polishing pad, and it leaves the black behind. Just in the sense of full disclosure, this is not permanent, the black permanent marker, despite its name. If you use something like silver black or jet black, those are chemical oxidizers that have a much more permanent finish than this would, so you will likely have to do this again sometime during the life of this tag, but it's a really easy way to do it without all the hazardous materials and disposal fees and things that come along with those more expensive things. So if you're actually like producing these to sell, maybe silver black or something like that is worth your time, but just to do things on your own for your friends, for your pets, I think this is the way to go. Now, in terms of connecting this, I like to connect pet tags with what's called a split ring instead of a jump ring or a loop or a wire wrapping technique, something like that, because they're just a little more secure. You probably recognize this as a keychain connector. It just does a lot better with pets. If they get this caught on something, It's not going to necessarily bust the tag off that you've just spent time creating. It's just a little bit of a safer option. So just slide that onto the loop of the dog bone. And there you go. Now it's ready to hang on your favorite furry friend.